like you say you do, then you should trust them enough to know that they're not going to do nothing behind your back. But
really take the time to get to know me at all. It wasn't attractive to me. So no, I don't think Kyle will be getting a second date.
okay.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We're talking to you guys about put a ring on it, 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 put a ring on it. I said put a ring on it, ring on it. Yeah. All right, listen. So we're talking to you guys about Put a Ring on It, Season 4, Episode 2. I said I'll give you guys a live, give you guys the opportunity to come up here. We've got about an hour and a bit of time to get this show underway because I lose an hour because the clock's going forward in UK. So I'm going to put this in the chat. If you want to join the live, please, you've got to cam up. No non-cameras coming up here. Please, come up. I don't care if you've got an Erica Badu on your head top, or if you've got a bird's nest on there. We just want to come up, okay? That's all I'm saying, baby. That's all I'm saying. Put a ring on it. Hey, ring on it. Ring on it. Yeah. All right, cool. So yes. Listen, we're talking to you guys about episode 2. Very, very interesting discussion that was happening in this episode. I'm really loving Put a Ring on It. I don't know what it is. I think it's refreshing to get to see couples in a different light. I think we get a bit more information, less speed, a bit more time to invest in these couples and be able to understand the different nuances that happen. As much as the dating aspect may be a little bit crazy, I am loving the opportunity to be able to get deeper into some of these couples and for us to have background information, which is absolutely a necessity. A necessity. That's all I can say. All right. So, yeah, we want to be able to we wanted to be able to discuss it today. All right. So listen, it's gonna get powerful today. Okay, it's gonna get powerful today. We're gonna break down some stuff. Okay, cool. Let's have a little look. I got these. Do you know what? I've been getting names mixed up. Is it Ricky? Was it Ricky and who? Is it Kirsty? Why have I got a name mixed up? I got a name mixed up. She's gonna be Kirsty for today. Y'all know I don't know her name. So Ricky and Kirsty, I think it is. I don't know. Her name's probably not Kirsty, but you know what? She's gonna get that anyway. Okay. All right. She's gonna get that anyway. Okay. Let's talk about Ricky and Kirsty first. There's a lot to talk about Ricky and Kirsty, but let's break it down. Okay. Ricky and Kirsty. I want to discuss them because there's some key things that I don't get. Okay, there's some key things that I don't get. Thank you, Catherine. I don't get, right? Whose idea was it to put the flowers by the bed? Did anybody catch that? Did anybody catch the fact that they had different stories to who put the flowers by the bed? Was it her? Was it him? Or was it we? Who put the flowers by the bed? Because it's a madness. I'm sorry. You're not about to come from a date and put the same flowers that you got right next to my bed. Okay. But that's just me. Okay. So who put the flowers by the bed? That's the first question I'm asking. The first question I'm asking. I want to know. In fact, I'm going to do a poll on it. I want to see who actually knows who put it on, because we got 3 different answers in that particular session. Three on it. Yeah, put a ring on it. My camera decides to go off. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know what you guys' thoughts are. Okay, I need to even. I got too many thingies open, man. Thing is telling me you got way too many apps open, so you're gonna have to delete some of these things. Oh Lord, someone's calling me, but I gotta wait. I'm sorry. Okay, so yes. All right, cool. Yeah. So someone said, okay, what did you guys say? Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. She said she put it on the side to remind him. Yep, you're absolutely right. I heard that too. I think she did it. This was petty for sure. She said she did to remind him that he needs to step his game up. Okay. She said she did. Okay. All right. I'm glad everybody heard that she did. Okay. Let's listen to that. Okay, all right, let's listen.
How'd you feel about the red roses, Ricky?
That's a good move.
Okay.
It's a good move. That's all I can say. It's a good move. I'm like, all right.
Catherine, they were red roses.
I know, they still next to my bed in a vase.
They're still next to your bed in the bed?
Now, let me be very frank with you. We're going to get to that part. I'm going to show you in a second or two. You know, but what's mad about this situation, I think, is I don't know. I personally don't like it. I don't like it. You don't need your man to be extraneously aggressive, put you in your place, energy, be mad, get up cussing, you know, be annoyed, to know that that's probably not the best thing to do. How is that motivating me? You putting flowers that someone else bought you right next to me. How was that helping me? How was that helping our relationship? How is that helping us grow? Tell me how that's helping us grow. Tell me how that's helping me grow. Now, one thing he said though, and maybe she knows him better than I do, she said, and no, he told us that he's a very competitive person. So maybe at that point, her putting the roses there made him very competitive. But I'm looking at him and I'm going, you may be you know, we may be competitive, but I don't understand what we're doing here. Why put those flowers next to me? Okay, I was like, yeah, I'm not sure about eat. Okay, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Well,
put
on
them
his
there.
side, so
Yeah,
he
I put
can
them
know
there. A reminder,
that,
like
yeah.
they own me. They own
Right.
me. And I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Take notes.
Stop the press. One second.
So actually, he said that he also put it next to his bed. He actually said he put it next to his bed as well. And that's when I started realizing he got a lot of cap Okay, right? Because she said she did it, but in that little part there, it's very faint. You hear it like he says, I put it next to there. I was like, wait, what? Okay. It's a little confusing. Who did it? Who? Did you do it? Did she do it? And then at the end of that, when I played, if I was playing the clip, we go further. He says, we decided to put it there. I was like, bro, which one is it? Okay. Which one is it? All right. Which one is it? Now, I know you guys are going to want to ask that question about the family. Let me get Jay up as well. We can discuss more. But JJ, looking beautiful as always. How you doing, babe?
Oh, y'all. Hey, everybody. Hey, Coach. I'm glad you mentioned that part because I thought I was tripping when I heard that. I was like, I know I just heard him say he put it by the side of the bed. And then by the end of it, she was saying she put it by the side of the bed. And I was like, okay, maybe I heard something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I thought he did it trying to be petty and cute or whatever. And I heard him say, I put it there to remind myself I need to do better. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not mad at you doing it, but I was like, it's kind of weird too. Like, just write you a note. You got your calendar on your phone. Say, buy her flower today. Like, I don't know. They're a strange couple though. As this episode went by, I was like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot. It's very much a lot. And I was like, yo, I was trying to think what. I get that he might want to be motivated by it, but I also wondered if he does, whether that also says something more. Like maybe just me, we call it the dog in you, just wouldn't allow that to be the case. But then again, maybe that's what motivates him to want to get up and do something different. But for me, it'll be like, I don't need to see the flowers to then be motivated. You've proved your point. You know what I mean? You brought the flowers home. That was enough. That's enough of a motivation already. We saw that last season with Charlie and Otis. I don't need you to even bring the flowers home to that. But you brought it home. All right. But now you want to put it next to my bed as well? Oh, snap. Okay. Yeah. And I think that's why I felt like he was capping, because whose idea was it? Was it hers? Was it yours? Was it we? Which one is it? Because she's blatantly telling us, no, it's hers. And then the doctor doubled down by asking, and she said, no, it's me. But you said in between it is you. So which one is it? You know?
Yeah, I didn't get it too much. I mean, I got the point of I need to do a little bit more for my lady, because sometimes when relationships, especially when we've been together for quite some time and they've been friends for a long time, you do forget to go and do all the things that brought you together in the first place. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's a nice reminder. But then I really started thinking about it. It was like, you're going to put flowers that another man gave your lady on your side of the bed as a reminder, though. Nah, I don't think my man would do like that. My man would be more like Otis and be like, we gonna throw these in the trash, and if you keep on, we gonna throw you in the trash with them. Like, play if you want to.
See what I get you.
Right. F around and find out. Like, that's what we gonna do. You're gonna be buried under some flowers. Keep on. So yeah, it was just a weird thing to me. But then when, like I said, as the episode continued, I said, okay, all right. You're just not, to be honest, you're just not doing enough in the relationship, and she's kind of settling because of the friendship. And I feel kind of bad because the whole thing, we're living with a whole bunch of people. One, I thought she moved into a house just with you, but
I thought so too.
We're living with mom, dad, sister, children, and occasionally the brother that comes by on a regular.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And I get it if I'm transitioning to moving out here and you're transitioning from your divorce, but what are we doing? Are we actually building to get our own place? What are we doing? That I just have so many more questions because of that. I don't know. Brought up so much more.
No, and I have a clip actually we can play so you can, because that was very true. I was like, what are we doing? Why are they at the home for? I didn't get it, but shoot, let's just go back slightly. Here we go.
I was just about to say, how y'all feel about me going today? What y'all think?
I mean, y'all been together so long, so it's gonna be weird, like, just you being with somebody else.
Yeah.
Catherine and I live in the house with some of my family members, so people are...
Now, I'll play the clip after, because she does explain how many people are in the house. It's like you said, the sister with her two. First of all, when I heard the sister with 2 kids, I said, we ain't got no kids, but you got 2 kids in the house. That's my house. I said, wait, hold on a minute. Or is it, listen, I'm all about family, but
his house or the parents' house?
That's a fair question.
That's what I was really, when it was like, okay, well, we living with the parents, and it's like, okay, we know how, a lot of times parents either come stay with us. COVID done change a lot of things up, this, that, and the third. But then you got the sister and the 2 kids. I was like, okay, whose house is this? Like, my parents, in our family, we got transitional. That's what we call them, transitional houses. Like, you can go to the auntie house, you can go to my parents' house, you can stay there for a little while. It's gonna be some rules that make you want to get out soon, but you can stay there for a little while you transitioning into your next phase and stuff. But he even made a point to say he was kind of comfortable. So I was like, he was like, I like it.
And that's what we have to establish, whether it was the parents' house, because it's not only the sister there and the brother coming by thingy, the parents also live there as well. So this is quite a few people within this particular household that are living there that are not allowing you guys to be free and in your own personal space and to be intimate, And so I was like, wait, okay, so you when you say you're paying all the bills, are you paying the bills for the rest of the household? Like, what's going on? I want to know what that setup is, because he said he pays all the bills, but what does that actually mean? So I was looking and I was like, how is this conducive for your relationship? You know what I mean? I get it that you've, been divorced and everything like that and your situation, but surely there should be a next move coming from you to be like, I don't want to be here anymore. Do you know what I mean? So I we need to see what, if that household is his own house and they've moved in, or whether this is the parents' household and they've moved into that household. So we have to find out. I'm not sure if we'll get that information just yet, but I don't know. Let's play it. You want to play the clip a little bit more? I'll just play it and then you can say your piece.
Always in and out. It's cool. It's like a child, so I pretty much love it because I'm big on family.
Who live in the house?
You know it. Go ahead.
His mother and dad lives in the house. His sister lives in the house with her 2 kids. And his brother Pat stops by often. It's a lot.
I'm just gonna have a...
If I remember, I think at the very beginning what you just said was they moved in. If I heard correctly, I might have to rewind it later. But go on, say your piece, and then I'll try and piece it.
Now, granted, she made light of the situation, but the other thing is when we get into our domestics or whatnot, the family's involved, and of course, a lot of times, family is going to take their kin side. And I know she kind of dumbed it down a little bit, like saying, you know, it kind of helps because, you know, they worked with us through the situation, but that can also be a problem too, because are they keeping you in the situation a lot longer than you should be for that family member? Or, you know, like I was getting a little tension between the sister and her, especially when the sister asked about this other girl coming and, you know, this and that. And I was like, it's a lot going on. It could be just too many people in your relationship sometimes. And it's good to have advice when you ask for it. But like she said, sometimes it's unsolicited.
It's just given and they're not asking for it. And that's also tough because family's always going to take family sides. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's going to be intrusive as well for their relationship. Again, that's not helping it grow. That's not helping it flourish because I'm always going to be constantly up against you and a few other family members. Now, she may feel comfortable in the house being around those people because they're very caring and loving. But again, it's still not her own place, still not his own place, free of those other individuals, which means you're always on eggshells. You can't fully be you. And that can be tension building, you know, as well, that you can't be your full self, your full you, because it's not your place. You know, it's their place and it's shared by others as well. So I think that's a very tough thing to deal with in a relationship as well.
Ain't no midnight runs and with my undies or skivvies or whatever the heck, the blanket. I gotta actually put a full outfit on just to go to the bathroom like that. I can't.
It's true. You can't even, you can't do the naked run. You know what I mean? Sometimes if you're getting up, I go to the toilet and just going like that. I don't even think about it. But, you know, you can't do that if you're in someone else's house.
You can't. I can't just walk around out the shower how I'm free. I can't do nothing with the bathroom door open. I can't get too loud if I want to get too loud. I can't do anything. I can't be comfortable. I'm sorry. At a grown age, you just cannot be comfortable with all these people unless the house we got wings. You in your wing, I'm in my wing. You know, you got to ring a bell to get over to my side or something. Then maybe we could do this. You got a back house, I stay there. You know, I don't care. But at some point when I'm in a whole relationship with somebody, I need my privacy. And that was a big thing with, we know on Ready to Love with Lyndon having a roommate. That's part of the reason. It's just, there's a lot of things at my grown age I just be wanting to do. And I don't want to have to keep sneaking around in my own house.
I agree. It's too much. And so, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think it's something that, you know, hey, Tay, we see you. But you know, it's true. It's something that, you know, and even, yeah, you know what? And as much as it's, you know, it's a topic, but this is a real big one. It is when you're older, it's not the same as when you're younger, right? So just roll with me this on, guys. I know but sex is a big issue. I'm sorry. It's a big issue because when you're younger, you know, you're sneaking around. Some of us were, not all of us. Some of us were sneaking around, you know, in our parents' houses or someone else's house or whatever, trying to get away with our madness. Now we're older. I don't want to be sneaking around, and I don't want to be going like, you know what I mean? And that refrain of expression is very constricting and actually builds up more tension. So even though you're trying to enjoy sex, now you can't even be free with it. That means that tension that gets built up in that sex position, that sex that you're doing, gets transferred into the relationship as well. So the very thing that should be removing the stress is even causing the stress, because you know you can't get loud or just be free. And it's not even like you want to necessarily be loud. Sometimes you just want to be able to have the choice to do so. You know what I mean? You can't even run to the toilet quickly, like, hold on a minute, I gotta run to the toilet. You can't even do that because if someone sees you, you know, it's not a good look. So that is a real thing. And I'm talking about the frustration and the tension that keeps building from all these little components that are within the relationship. So whilst it may be a trial, I need a trial to end quickly because there's no need for them to be in the house that long. That's what I'm trying to say.
And don't let them bedroom walls be jointed. Like, I don't know if you ever been in that position, but I've been in that position where I was dating somebody and they stayed with their parents, and it's so awkward the next morning when you wake up and you thought she was doing a real late in the morning. And they looking at you like, we know what y'all was doing last night.
Oh, yo, them wolves. And it's just awkward too. You're gonna see people's parents. Do you know what I mean? She's seen their parents. Like nobody wants. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not the one. So yeah, it's not cute at all. If I'm honest with you, it's not at all. Let's talk about his date then. Let's talk about his date because he went on a date. Do you know what? This girl reminds me of you, Jay? You know, her energy, vibrant. You know, just but you still get to keep that coolness, tomboyish, but there's still the sexiness as well with it. You know.
Listen, I'm trying to figure out how she got that red because I've been trying to get that type of red in my life.
That red was fine. I ain't gonna lie to you. I said, baby, talk to me, baby. I said, oh damn. Red. She was looking good. Sheila, her name was. I said Sheila. I said Sheila came in at Sheila's wheels. Okay, girl. But yeah, she came in. I'll play the clip in a second as well. Oh my god, I'm calling emergency on my phone.
You know, there was one standout thing that Sheila said that I really liked a lot. She said, I don't have a problem with you having children. I have the issue with how the relationship is set up with you and the baby mama. I was like, I love that. Because, you know, that is generally the problem. It's not the children, it's how the boundaries are set up between you and that other person. And that was a telltale because he ended up telling on himself a little bit that he don't really have good boundaries when it comes to his ex-wife and the kids. And I was like, that's a bit concerning. And I can see why she would be frustrated. And you want to tell her that your girl, that she just needs to trust you. But how does she just trust you when you're doing things like sleeping over and then you sound like you didn't even communicate that to her? Like, hey, she ain't home, so I'm still here with the kids. Or better yet, I know it's tough because the house is already crowded, but bring the kids to your house, let them play with their little cousins that's over there already. Like, but I was like, kids do he have too? Because she said kids. And I'm like, are you watching the ex-wife kids and yours too? Or you got multiple with the ex-wife? I thought he just had one. So we got a lot of boundaries we crossing. Because I'm not about to... Listen, I'm all for, you know, taking care of other people's kids when I'm in a relationship with you, doing all of that stuff. But when you go out, I can take mine. If I can't take all of them, I can definitely just take mine. And you're going to have to figure out the rest for the rest of them, especially if you're going to be out all night, not telling me where you at, the whereabouts. And we had an agreement that I need to be gone by a certain time. Yours might be at home by themselves. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take my child and we go home.
Did I misread that point then? Because I thought I thought he was talking about, but I've seen a couple of people in the audience also saying the exact same thing as you. I thought he was saying when they were in a relationship, that's when he slept on the couch and that's when he was looking after the kid and she went out. I thought that's what he was talking about. But is he talking about now? You probably have to find a clip for that.
Yeah, he kind of said now because he said that was the issue between him. What is his girlfriend's name? His current
Catherine.
I forgot it. Huh? Kathy.
Kathy. Catherine, yeah.
Catherine, something like that. Him and Catherine, that's their issue. That was one of their issues as far as the relationship goes, because he spent the night one time while the ex was working on her entertainment career and she was gone all night and he just stayed there on the couch. And that would be a problem.
I agree. If that's what was said, then that's the problem, because that for me is problematic. Let me see if I can find you a clip, because I'm trying to. I remember that conversation, but I thought it was a different way, but maybe I misheard. You know what I mean? So let me just put this on the screen and see if we can get a little bit of clarity from the situation. Let's see if I can get it forward a little bit. Let's see.
So what do you like to do for fun?
Little everything. You know, I like to play sports. I'm competitive when it comes to that and things of that
See,
nature.
that's going to be a problem.
No, I was too back. Hold on.
To be honest with you, I really don't have an issue with guys that have kids. I have an issue with how the situation is with the children's mother. That's what I have an issue with.
Okay, so this is it.
After that.
I gotta go forward in it. It's after that, isn't it?
Yeah,
okay,
it's
so
right
I'm gonna.
after
I'm
right
I'm
there
gonna
when we come back, if you start, I think right there, or go in a little bit further.
Just a little bit. Okay, so let's put that. Let's get it on then.
Issue that kind of me and my girl deal with sometimes.
Right. What's the problem with that right there?
No, it's just
No, wait. Just before it gets to that point, I'm telling you right now what I thought. Honestly, when Sheila said that, she was like, "Not this nigga with this shit again. Like, I just want to have a good day." Like, yo, it was given. She's like, "What's the problem with that?" Then, like, that was given. Not this nigga with this shit. Like, just enjoy the date.
Fully
like, you know what I mean?
She's like,
You couldn't get from one date without having to bring up baby moms? Like,
I knew it. I knew it.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna come to this.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, and let him.
Yo, I was dying when the whole energy shifted. Her tone dropped. I said, "Yeah, old chick is tired." She's like, "I don't want to." Another guy with the same issue. Like, oh, okay, let me just pretend. Okay. Let me just pretend that it's okay. Like,
for the camera though, she did. Put
yeah.
it up. Like, all
So
right.
I just got to remember the fact that I came in for a reason, man. But she was not impressed by that. Honestly, she was not. Let me try and get this clip up. Oh man.
sometimes she feels like I'll be breaking boundaries. I'll give you an example. One of our biggest issues, me and my ex-wife, she was working on like entertainment stuff, and so she would be like doing shows and going out at night, and she needed somebody to be there with the kids.
Right.
And just like she would leave, be out all
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I thought I heard something different, but absolutely right. You guys are right. That is ridiculous. I'm so sorry. That's an excuse. There's no way. Listen, you're babysitting. You don't need to. Just take the kids home. Just take the kids home, and she can come and collect them when she finishes her little showbiz stuff. She can come and collect the kids when she finished. But you don't have to be that. What? I thought he was saying that it was a past situation. Me and my ex, but no, this is a current situation, sir. And what you were looking for was Sheila's sympathy. Oh, Sheila's going to tell you what she wants you to hear because she's trying to get a second date because she's getting paid by the dates. So she's going to say what she needs to say, but she don't agree what you're saying, boy. Okay? You want mercy and grace in this moment where it requires no mercy and grace. Take the kids home. Sorry, Jay, go for it.
No, I agree with you on that. You got to do some other arrangements. If she's going to be out all night, like, hey, I can't be the first time, maybe. Because you probably didn't know, she didn't communicate with nothing like that. So I get it. But anytime after that, it's like, sis, you causing problems in my relationship. I can bring the kids to my house. If you don't want to do that, you're going to have to find you a whole babysitter. And I'll just I'm still confused. I need to know exactly how many kids he had, because if he only had the one, he can come get his. And she's going to have to call grandma or something. Yeah, so he need to just take his child. He's like, I can come get my child on the day you need me to, and the other kids you have to do something because I can't be here all night. You're causing problems through my current relationship now. That means she still has him in a hold too. You're on mute.
Thank you. I was going to say, you know what? You kind of said something. I think he's used to being in a position where the woman's more dominant. There's something about him. Because even Catherine, he said, I don't want to get in trouble with her. The way he kind of said it was almost as if that she's the one that's a bit more assertive. And I was like, you keep choosing women that I think you like a certain type of woman. You like them to be more assertive than you. And I think that's what he got with that ex as well situation. So you can't be letting her dog you out like this, bro, and then still playing you even after the marriage is done. You divorced her for a reason, bro. You know what I mean? At that point in time, you should have learned, grown, and said to myself, let me handle me and make sure I've healed. And I don't think he went counseling after, did he? He didn't go. I think she mentioned something about not him going counseling after.
No,
I don't think he's gone.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's gone. So he hasn't even recovered fully from this whole situation. Go for it, Jay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, she still has some ties to him somehow. If this is the dynamic that you have, that you are okay to sleep on the couch, and I don't know if it's using the kid, could possibly be that. You know what I'm saying? Some women do this, and that's the only time he gets to see it, and won't allow him to bring the child around the new girlfriend. You know, it's a lot of little things, but he has to be honest and say, you know what, let me do what's working for me and my current as I move on from you. And I think he does need to get a bit of that therapy after that relationship, because from what I recall, she cheated on him in the marriage. Yeah. So he still got some healing to do from that. He's still hurt by it. So
I agree with you. Understood. Tay, welcome to the conversation. Good to see you. Love the background setup as well. Talk to us. We're talking about, put a ring on it, and talking about Ricky and Catherine. What's your thoughts to the situation? What's your thoughts?
What's up, everybody? Okay, first of all, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the show. I'm a fan of Jay. I'm a fan of Sean, Seaway. I know everybody. All right. So to me, this couple, neither one of them is ready for this situation. They're not ready to date. They have situations in their lives where I don't think they're available emotionally, mentally, stability for anybody, period. I mean, because what's the next girl going to do? Move in? She moves out, and what she's going to do? Find somebody to shack up with next? Like, they got to kind of find themselves. I think they got time to do it. They seem like good people. But that's my take on them. I think everything you guys were saying about them in the situation was spot on. I just wanted to add that I don't feel like neither one of them is ready.
I appreciate it, Tay. What's your thoughts then quickly on the baby mother situation then? Is that because she obviously he's sleeping? I really didn't. I came to this conclusion only just now because you guys have been telling me, and I just watched the video. But he is now sleeping on the couch at points in time, or has slept on the couch at a point in time. Is how problematic is that for you in terms of a relationship? Talk to me.
Okay, why was he sleeping on the couch though? Like, what did he do? Like, every now and then, everybody has kicked their mate out the bed. I feel like I don't know what.
Oh no, he's sleeping on his ex-wife couch.
Ex-wife's couch. Yeah, sorry, no, babe. He's on his ex-wife couch. Yeah, I know. See, it got me too. Same way. I was thinking that was an old story. Don't worry about it.
Oh hell no! I mean, no. What? Like, okay.
That's why when you started,
all kind of messed up. See, that's what I'm saying. It's too much going on here. Like, what? I'm confused. I'm watching the same show and I'm confused. Like, what are we seeing here? They're not ready.
Don't worry about it. I also got confused too, so don't even worry about that. But yes, he slept on the couch, or fell asleep on the couch whilst babysitting his own child at his ex's house. Yeah. Who's obviously the mother of his kids as well. Right. So yeah, that's
and then not communicating what's going on. See, that's the problem. That's
a big one. Yeah. Jay, let me ask you as well. Then, obviously, coming from your perspective, because obviously, as a mother yourself as well, how problematic is that? Having your partner sleep on the couch or fall asleep on the couch, quote unquote, at their ex's house. That shares a child with them. Is that problematic, or that should be a case of trust?
As much as I love some free babysitting myself, you know what I'm saying? Babysitting be getting expensive, but to be in a relationship with somebody, and like I said, it didn't sound like he communicated that with her prior. He just did it, because that should have been a thing. Like, I told her, when ex called me, I told her that I was going to be here. I might be late or whatever. But it sounds like almost as a habit. He's done this a couple of times, and now it's a problem with Catherine. And yes, it would be a problem with, I believe, anybody, because it does look suspicious. Like, why are you over there all night saying you're babysitting when you leave the house, you're telling me you're babysitting for a couple of hours. Now I'm at the house with your family and you gone all night. Yeah, no, that's a bit much. I don't know anybody that can really sit there and honestly say, I can sit there and trust it unless there's like serious communication going on. And I mean, communication, not just with him and her, but him, the baby mama, and her. I think all three parties need to have a conversation and say, hey, this is what's going on. Do you mind if he's here? That'd just be respectful.
No, I'm with you. I'll play another clip a little bit later because he gives Sheila a compliment, and the compliment was along the lines of how she listened to him. Let me go slightly back because that's not the part. Okay, he looked like, anyone notice that he looks like Lecrae and Mike Todd together? Anyone notice that he looks like their brainchild out of this? He looked like a Mike Todd and Lecrae put together. That's what he looked like. Let me see if I can get the right one. Yes. Can't lie to you, Sheila is fine. Just telling you guys one more time, okay?
Respectful towards me too. We good.
Sheila's a great communicator, and I don't want to hurt Catherine's feelings. But in this moment, Sheila is a lot more understanding than Catherine is about my parenting style. I definitely can improve on boundaries.
Yeah. Well, he said that she's a better communicator than Catherine is. Catherine also accused him of not listening very well because he listens to respond. Who's telling the truth? I don't know. Tay, go for it. What's your thoughts?
Two things can be right at the same time. I think that when men feel like they pay all the bills and they're doing, because he did mention that she was dependent upon him financially. A lot of times they don't want to hear what the hell you got to say, to be honest. So it may be he's not listening and she's not communicating well, because he should know that she's uncomfortable in a situation with the family and all these 50 land people in the house. But it don't seem like he knows that or cares. So either she's not communicating well and or he not listening.
Appreciate that. Okay.
I'm definitely with you on that, Tay. I also think it's just a matter of he's not getting heard the way he wants to be heard. Because I don't think, what's the old girl with the red hair name? I don't forgot her name.
Sheila. Oh no, Catherine. You mean his girl?
Sheila. Yeah, I don't think Sheila was saying anything that was too far different than what Catherine probably would be saying it. But sometimes when we're in a relationship, the way we say things to our partner sounds a little bit harder than when a friend or some stranger says it to them. And then if a stranger happen to be beautiful and looking good on a date, it's gonna be like, oh, she's hearing me. So it's one of them things. I feel you, Tay. I feel like the two things is just the two of them are not communicating properly to each other.
Yeah. Tay, do you want to add anything else?
Yeah, I think Jay right. One thing is levels to this. The finer you are, the more somebody's willing to listen to you. That goes on both ends. I mean, people take a lot more when you finer. If you in kind of the mid, they ain't messing not so much. That goes for men and women. We may take a little bit more if you fine. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't all that fine, sharpen up.
Might take you a little minute or two to listen to that.
That's why we've been listening to you so long.
Get out of it, Jay.
That's why we've been listening to you, Joe. You know what I'm saying?
You know why I ain't gonna begrudge you. Continue, baby. I ain't even mad at it. Shout out to Jonathan Majors, by the way. Jonathan Majors is whatever he says. You ladies, I don't know why Jonathan Majors came into my head, but you know what? When you said that, all I can think of was Jonathan Majors, because anytime he speaks, whenever I see comments, the ladies have said, we're not listening. We're just seeing him. And it just reminds me of that same kind of concept. When someone is really good looking, people stop kind of listening and kind of just enamored. What are you going to say, Jay? Why are you looking at that for? Because you actually say
it's not just he talks so nice and sweet to us. So he just low key whispering nothings into our ears. So that's why we're not listening. Tay, come back.
know what? You're right. I'm not even mad at it. You know, I'm not even mad at it. You know, I looked at him the other day and I said, this brother's really handsome. But you know what? You know, someone made a comment and I've never forgotten it. They said he's giving civil rights type handsomeness, and I said, it's really wild, but I get what you're saying. What, Jay? Why are you looking at me for the Jay? Why are you making that face?
Civil rights handsome.
Yeah, it's giving MLK sidekick.
You know, you're gonna have to do a live on it because I did read before I got on here that he just got arrested for assault too. And Lady Day just said,
"Shut up."
I'm serious, assault on somebody. Supposedly, I just read something, so I'm not sure how
not
true
my
it
Majors.
is. Yeah.
Oh, not Majors. Let's hope she's lying. I hope so. If not, his career's done. You know. Okay. Oh, it's his girlfriend. Oh, okay.
He might be the next prison bae, though.
Oh, he gonna be. You know, because he gonna pout with it. He gonna have his own real Creed story coming out of prison like this. I tell you, for real. But I don't know how I got into Jonathan Majors, but I don't know how I got there. I'm so sorry, guys. Apologies. All right, cool. Let's get back on task. Did anybody notice as well? This was the last point on them, and then we'll move to the next couple. That how he tried to curve her a little bit about the having a second date. Old boy was trying to curve her, and I said he must be either loyal or he's not feeding her. One of the two. It can be a combination of both, but I felt like either he was curving her, or you know, he was really trying to. He's not really feeding her. He doesn't find her as attractive, and let's just have a look. I think it was around about. Oh, what the hell? I went too far.
I'm definitely into Sheila. She's a lot of fun. She's easy to talk to, and she's very understanding. I'm having way more fun than I expected.
You want some? This is actually really good. You can try some if you want. Are you a vegan?
Now, this brother said he's not even. This brother said first and I put on the wrong camera. Sorry. First and foremost, he said, you know, and I didn't get to show it, guys, because the timings on my phone are not the same as the time on the screen. Apologies. But he first said that she asked, "Will we get a second date?" And he said, "You know what? Let's just cheers to the fact that, you know, we had a great date." That's what he said, right? And so he kind of curved in that way, but try to be nice about it. And then he said, and then he tried to add the, you know, my partner isn't messing around, so you know that's why I don't want to play with that. But in the third part that added the extra curve, do you want? She tried to draw him in. Do you want some of my food? And brother said, I see the invite, but I'm declining. Okay, all right. I see where you're going, but I'm declining. Okay, all right. And he may be extra sensitive because he got cheated on, and maybe thinks this will be a line too far for him. So maybe he's thinking, you know, in that capacity. But he curved Sheila quite considerably. Did you see it that way as well, guys? Did you see it as a curve, or did you see it more as something else? Maybe him setting boundaries or whatever. I mean, he can't set boundaries very well, so I don't know why he decided to set one here. But you know, obviously, what did you guys, ladies, sorry, see it as? How did you see it? Was there boundaries or curving, or how did you see it? Go for it, Tay.
Well, for me, I can't really speak to his intentions. Whatever it was the right move. Period. Like I say, I don't think he's ready. It may be too much for him to kind of come out of a comfortable situation that he's got going on to kind of see what's up. And I don't know. But whatever his intention was with that, it was a good move on my end. So, yeah. That's pretty much it on that one.
Cool. Jay?
I think it would be a combination of a few things. She might not be his overall type. You know, she's attractive, yes, and he can see that, but might not be the type. I felt like it was he was being respectful. And I also do feel the second date question part. I feel sometimes that production is kind of makes them hesitant, or they might just edit it around it. So you just don't totally know just yet. So that part, I didn't too much look at it, but I did see when he curved about the food, when he was like, I got enough on my plate or whatnot. So we ain't about to be doing all these extras. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And maybe he just conscious he on TV. He like, she gonna see this bag. She gonna see this bag and she gonna whip my behind. But like I said, they have an
trouble.
interesting thing because they're friends for a long time. So I don't know how you even do this show being friends for so long. Because to me, you're jeopardizing a long-term friendship at the end of the day. I don't know.
That's fair. I ain't even mad at it. That's fair. I ain't even mad at it. Take that for free. I ain't even mad at it. Okay, so let's shift it to the next couple then. Bye bye Sheila. I ain't gonna lie to you, she was fine. I thought the other woman, also Selena was fine. You know, because you know I like a little body. But when I saw Sheila, she had that little cute energy, the personality, and then the little cuteness about her. I said, I'm have to change my type out here. Okay, all right, I'm reconsidering, guys. Okay, I'm changing my ways. It's not every day booty.
She was small up top, but she might have been still working with something down low too.
Oh, listen,
really pan down there.
You need a handful. You don't need too much. I've learned myself. Okay, I've learned myself. I've changed my ways. Okay. All right. Let's talk obviously about is it? I always forget their names. I put it as
Joya
and Jasha.
I think I got her name this week and last week.
I'll be getting the names mixed up. Jasha and Joya. Let's talk about them as well because they were quite interesting. Going into it as well. They had their issue. I think their issue is going to be tit for tat and pettiness. But to be fair, I didn't see any tit for tat pettiness from him necessarily this week. But he was saying some tit for tat stuff last week. But this week he was fairly good, and his date looked really, really good. I mean, it looks like there was some good points to it. But before we get to that part, the doctor did call out Joya for being a little bit controlling. Let's have a look at that particular clip, and then we'll have a conversation as well. All right, let me see if I can get that clip for you guys. Soon, very soon.
The other guy was a gentleman and kissed my hand, but he was single. You got a girlfriend at home. There will be no kissing of no hands.
See, I got on Dunbar for trying to control it earlier.
Yes.
Same thing.
Oh, sorry, guys. I always put it on the wrong one. What do you guys think? Is she controlling? Did the doc get this one right? Can you see where the doc is coming from, or do you disagree with the doc? Let me get your thoughts, Jay. What are you saying?
Can I rewind back to last week though, real quick on this too?
Yeah, please, yeah, go.
Because I already have a don't ask, don't tell policy in my place for a reason. It's for a reason. And she volunteered the information in the first freaking place. Like, you was mad he didn't put no boundaries on it. You didn't have no boundaries. You wiped the man's mouth. Okay. And then why'd you come home and tell him about it? And then proceed to tell him that he kissed me on the hand, but he's single. You're not. Sis, you're not single. So what are we doing right now? And so I'm not saying that the doc is totally right that she's controlling, but she is trying to control the situation as far as with him and his dates. But she ain't trying to control herself on her dates. It's okay that he's in a relationship. He can't be kissing nobody, but she's in a relationship, but she can get kisses from single men. So if a single woman come up and kiss him, that should be okay too then, sis. Because she's single. If he don't kiss back, he don't kiss the hand in return or whatever she kissed, then that should be okay. Because if that's what the game we're gonna start playing, so sis is definitely giving me both Charisse and Charlene and Otis vibes from last season. Like, you doing a lot, and you gonna jeopardize your own relationship playing these games like this. So calm down. Calm down.
I hear you on that. Tay, what's your thoughts?
I agree. She did seem controlling in that state. I mean, but at the same time, it's different from a man kissing your hand than your man kissing somebody else's hand. It's a little bit different, but she was controlling. I feel like I think he's open to the process because he's not ready for what she's ready for. So he's actually open and kind of don't really mind because he's open because he is not quite ready for marriage, baby tomorrow. So he's looking to slow it up, and he's trying to he's definitely open to see what's out there. Her, she's ready to go with him right now, which you can tell as far as her intensity when it comes to him going on dates and what she expects versus what she's going to do. Okay, because she feels like she's already in it and he's the one that got something to prove. That's how I see them.
Fair point. No, I think also I think with you know, the situation with those two, you know, I think when you look at Joya and Jaysha, boy, J and J. When you got J and J, because I'm gonna mash up their names like I do every season. But when you see J and J, I think where the doctor was, I didn't necessarily see it as controlling, but what I did see maybe is, but I guess it comes in a song bracket, is the manipulative aspect of it, right? Because when you are trying to get someone to care about something, that was the first thing I thought. I thought when she came to tell him, she knows he's going to be on TV, so I understand that. But I thought the way she dropped it, old sis knew what she was doing. She was trying to get a reaction from last week. She was trying to get a reaction.
Yeah, baiting him.
Give it to her.
Right.
Yeah, she was baiting. Exactly.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
She was baiting him and then trying to reel him in, but he didn't bite. And then kind of said, well, if that's what we're going to be doing, just let you know, if that's what a gentleman does, I'm going to show you what a gentleman is. But then I guess on this particular part, when she reiterated it in front of the whole group and said about how, you know, where the control part comes in is because when you hear the story from the doc's perspective, she says, well, the guy kissed my hand and I rubbed the crumbs off his face, but you can't do that because you can't kiss another girl's hand because you're in a relationship. That's where she's gonna hear control. Because when you tell the story, you've told the story as if I did something, but you can't do it. That's gonna look controlling. So in that instance, I do understand where the doctor's coming from, because when you tell the story that way, it is controlling. But it's more of a case of she's manipulative. She knows what she'll do. Yes, Tay, you want to add? And then Jay?
I agree, but I mean,
you can disagree. Go for it, sis. Disagree. It's good to disagree around here. But
he can't do it. Like, he can't kiss nobody's hand, but she can accept a kiss on her hand. It's different. Like, that's a double standard. Like, it is what it is. She was right. She was wrong, but she was right. You know what I'm saying? Because her intentions was to be controlling, was to manipulate the situation, how we tend to do, because we can do that. But it's not right. But if anybody can do it, women can do it better. But he can't go kissing nobody's hand. Nah.
Let me ask you this. Can he receive a kiss then?
But women don't go kissing nobody. Women can do what she did. I mean, no. Okay. Hold on, Jay. You trying? Oh, shit. Oh.
You know, I'm for girl power, dog. Hey, but you know,
listen, I ain't mad at you. I already knew you was gonna come with. I'm like, all right, hold on. All right. Okay. Let me think on that one, because you got me there. You got me there. Listen, I can admit when. All right, hold on. Let me think about that.
Because see, when we just start doing these manipulative things, that's all he got to say is, "I didn't kiss the girl; she kissed me."
I mean, what we want him to do? Mush her? Like, not kissing back.
He could back up and not allow it, and just like she could pull her hand and like, hey.
Or he can go for like the cheek. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, dodge her with the cheek. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of rude for a woman to be like, from a man trying to kiss her hand. Like, usually we just kind of let that one flow.
No, I listen. I understand where you're coming from. So you're trying to say, because usually the men are usually the ones who initiate something, it can be seen as different, which I actually do get. But I think the other aspect is, I think what Jay's saying, and I think I do understand what she's saying as well, in the sense of this opens the door for manipulation, because then people start getting creative with stories. Because now when he comes back, be like, hey, look, I couldn't say no when she kissed me. Like, I was just talking, she kissed me. I don't want to be rude. Yeah. But the reality is, what Joy could have done was, when he went to kiss her hand, she said, hey, sorry, no touch policy. Because if she had a problem with people touching her, the way she would have told him, hey, Like that's my personal space. Don't do it. She didn't want to do that. And that's the reality. She didn't want to stop him doing that. She likes to play a little bit, right? She's excited by the attention, right? But the type of attention that she wanted, even the guy that she even get, we're gonna get there. I'm getting ahead of myself. But even the guy who did it, that's not who she wanted it from. It wasn't enough. That guy who did it wasn't enough. She needed somebody who really can challenge her man. That guy, she knew that her man pocketed that man all day, right? That's why Jay was not flushed. He knew that wasn't her type. He went out of type. The guy's turtleneck was longer than his whole body. Like it don't make sense. Like, so he knows that's not her type, right? Do you know what I mean? So if someone comes in maybe 6'6", dark chocolate, like her type or whatever that she likes, he might see, he might be a little bit more scared, and she will be more comfortable, or should I say, more excited about what she's doing. She did use opportunity, but what I'm saying in a sense is, like, for instance, why she's not gone on a second date? It's because she's not really interested. It wasn't that guy was doing too much. He was too beggy, too thirsty. Right, but I do think that by not holding a firm line, and we're going to talk about it actually in a second, and I'll show you the clip. By not also holding a firm line, it caused issues. So I want to ask this question, and then I'll play the clip, and then I'll ask the question. I'll play the clip, and then you can answer the question. The question is, should someone give you a boundary to know what the boundaries are? Should someone have to give you boundaries to know what the basic boundaries of your relationship are? Okay, because I'm going to play the clip with Joya when she was talking to the group about this, because she said she didn't know what to do, that she had to have boundaries. She didn't have boundaries. She said she wasn't sure what was going on. So let's get into it.
We talked about boundaries.
What were the boundaries you guys set?
Jaysha set absolutely no boundaries for me. Having no boundaries was kind of a challenge for me because I found myself overthinking everything, every little move I was making on this date. At one point during...
Sorry, guys, wrong camera. That question I'm asking. She said she found herself overlooking everything. So I'm asking you a question. Do you agree with her? Do you find some empathy with her, the fact that she'd be overthinking the boundaries aspect? Or is this something that we have to look a bit more deeper and ask maybe ask another question as to why she found it so difficult? Or is this normal? Is this something that you can identify with? Whoever looks in my direction will get the first one. Yeah, Tay, thank you. Tay, go for it, because your eyes went like that.
Dang, I ain't want to start with this one because now you're getting deep on me. Like, okay, is there like... I see. I can see what she's saying, but see, that wouldn't really be an issue for me. I'm just going to do what I would expect to be done, but I'm going to be open to the process. Like, I'm not going to cross the line. We're not kissing in the body. We're not having extracurricular touching, and you know what I'm saying. I'm just not going to do that out of respect for the relationship, and I can still be open without doing those things. So I would just put out, regardless of what he does, I'm just going to do what I should be doing, and whatever he does, that's going to, I make the decision off of what he felt like his boundaries was.
Appreciate it, Jay.
Now that I'm actually thinking about this, it's kind of a tough one, because when you dating and you single, of course you just do whatever. But when you're dating in a relationship, I still got to me personally, I would still kind of have to respect my relationship, and I would have to think about what I don't want my partner to do. And so my thing is, my boundaries will be in line based off of what I don't want my partner to be out here doing. I don't think they need to be established, so to speak. But, if you feel like you got a partner that just be off the hinge when you are not around them, then maybe you do. But I feel like if I have a partner that respects me, they don't have to give me none. I don't have to give them none. I can trust that they're going to go off their respect. And for me, I would probably not give any, because I want to see exactly how you going to move. So I need to know if I'm with the right person in the first place. Because if you're going to do the extras showing me that you don't have respect, that I'm still here, then cool. That's my key, would be like, all right, we're done. So yeah, I would just put them boundaries on myself, though, if I want to be with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I even heard it again this time, I was like, I start asking myself, why would there be an overcomplication in your mind in terms of what boundaries there are? Because surely you've been operating by those same boundaries all throughout. You know what I mean? Like, of course, yes, you are dating someone, but okay, when you're going on a date, and again, things that are tangible. You know what I mean? Like things that are tangible. So, would you overtly flirt to the highest order? No. You know what I mean? Would you say something sexual to someone if you want to reach it? No. So, would you say that to someone on this date? No, I wouldn't say it on the put a ring on it either. You know what I mean? Would I start touching a person inappropriately or being overly feely? No, because I wouldn't do that normally. So all the things normally I wouldn't do, I'm just gonna do again, and that would be my boundary. And like you said, Jay, which I think is the keyest point, is I'm definitely not going to do something that I would not be comfortable with my partner doing to me. And that would be my boundary to go upon. So I'm not going to start overly flirting, moving mad, not saying no innuendos. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be enticing her with talking about the future, me and you, trying to play games. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be putting my hand around your waist and my hand on your bum or the nape of your back or areas that I feel will be uncomfortable. That if I saw you doing, I'm about to rock the whole world. So I would make sure I'd hold myself to that standard because that's what I expect of you. And if you decide to then want to play, that's you. I now know who you are, and I now know what you're about when I'm not there. But the fact that you're in your head and you're thinking about all the different options tells me that you might be doing this on your daily basis, treading the line very cautiously in your relationship on a daily basis of what you do, which would be back to what we were saying about the tit for tat between Joy and Jason, and that the fact that maybe they toe the line with each other when it comes to flirtation and how they move when they normally are in the world. So maybe that might be a little bit of a thought as well. Jay, I can see you looking like you got something in mind.
I mean, I know me and you know the dark arts, and I'm not sure if you how familiar you are in your personal life with it or whatnot, but we know that it's kind of like that spy versus spy, petty versus petty when we start doing those things. So if I start opening those doors of doing too much more than I would want my partner to do, in the back of my mind, when they go on their date, I'm thinking about all the stuff I did and wondering if they're doing the thing. And now I got to one up them the next time. So like, that's just a cycle that you just don't really want to open up if you're actually still trying to be in a relationship with that person by the end of all of this. Because that's kind of like what was happening when we seen Charlena and Otis last year. One person opened that door, the other one walked through. And then they just got to keep going from there because ain't nobody trying to hold up that cycle. And sometimes we just got to stop it. And when I know when we talk about Dunbar and Chance, that's kind of another thing. They got a little cycle that's going on. That's a little bit different, but it's because it's not as petty as this one, but it's still a cycle. But we'll get there.
Yep. Tay, what's your thoughts? Are you familiar with the dark arts?
Only from what I see on Little Black Book and Jay from Another Round. I know she is Queen Petty. I have done my research. I am not new to this. I'm true to this platform here. I know that she's petty, so I know she understands, and I know you are Dark Arts King. Nice to meet you. But on serious, I agree with everything you guys saying. Like, you should operate accordingly to where you respect yourself and the people that's around you and the people that you're dealing with. Point blank, period. We don't need to be wavering. I'm like, come on, we're grown, okay? And if somebody's operating outside of that, then you already know what's up with that. You cut it off because that's not how you would move. Is what's what they say? What's understood don't need to be explained. Yeah, we don't need to talk about this. Big time.
Tay, you sound like you're on the good side, so we appreciate you. Don't come to that dark side, baby, because if you do, there's gonna be problems. Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's powerful as well. Like I think when I heard that clip again, I really was thinking about, there is something I think probably we'll see it in the course of the relationship and the show, how we get more insight into their relationship, and we'll probably see there's probably been some close shaves. I think within the course of the year that they've been dating, they're giving me they've had some close shaves, you know, or people have been dangling a little toe out when they shouldn't have been dangling the toe. You know, so we'll see what happens, but I think there's been some dangling of a toe, just kind of play, you know, playing on the line, I would like to call it, you know, playing as close as you can to the fire without it actually burning you, you know, and that is giving the dark arts we're talking about, when you tread the line as close as you can without actually breaking past the line. So it's always things that can't get you necessarily dumped in a relationship, but it's going to cause some turmoil in the relationship. You know, it's going to cause some problems in it as well. You know, it's a bit, you know, and so I think we'll see that in the course of the relationship for them as well.
And it might be the reason why he might be a little hesitant. It might have been something might have happened early in the relationship that might make him a little hesitant on why he's not trying to rush. I mean, he could just be naturally not trying to be rushed, or he might have seen something, or something was done. So we'll see as it continues. We'll see.
The point is, she's a good girl, but she's not his girl. I don't think that's good. I think he appreciates that she's a good girl. She got all the qualities. She's just not for him.
Right, that's a fair point. Okay, we're gonna get onto another clip now. We're gonna play the dates just before, because she also had a moment, and now we're talking about it. It's making me think about that moment, because I'm thinking to myself, maybe her reaction is telling us a little bit more about the way that she behaves. Because the moment this girl walks in the room, and I ain't gonna lie to you, Selena bad. Okay, Selena bad. Okay, the girl that he's going on a date with, she bad. That they done Joya bad mind. They did her bad, because the girl they
did
got
all
for him,
the ladies bad. I'm sorry, Kojo. They did all the ladies bad. Come on, they got the young girl for the show. Come on, they did all the man. They stepped it up for all the ladies. They did the ladies bad.
I agree.
Yes, I mean, I don't. I feel like the only one, Katrina, is that her name? Catherine's
was decent, yeah.
Catherine's was decent or whatever for like her situation. Now they did her bad because she didn't dress up like she said. I don't know if that was her choice. She made it seem like production told her to wear what she wore, but
that's what it's like. Yeah.
Like, and I was like, did they tell you to wear that, child? Oh my God, they definitely did you bad.
Like, I felt forced. She's like, I had to dress down, but you going out looking like that?
Right.
They did me bad. Yeah, it definitely did give they definitely did them dirty this season. Definitely. You know, I can definitely see that as well. The girls that weren't coming on the show, fire. Let's have a look at the one that he went on to.
Cute. Okay. So I hope you guys have a nice time out. I trust he's in good hands.
Yes.
He's in good
Not too good at hands.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
Don't take my lipstick with you.
She was doing the most. She was doing the absolute most. I mean, my girl was out here wrapping her hands, doing the whole weak arms around the neck, lipsing him and kissing him. You know what I mean? Almost doing forehead touches, like I said earlier on. Like, you know, and even the girl beside her was like, I'm not even going to have too much of a good time because I got to return him. And she still wanted to try and stamp her authority on the situation. I was like, sis, this is why you don't know what boundaries are, because I feel like the reason why you don't know what boundaries to be working with is because you would keep breaking them. And this is giving that insecurity that a dark artist usually has. When people are flirting and doing too much in their own time, they can't trust other people because they themselves aren't trustworthy. It's just the reality of situations, Pete. But I don't know. What are you saying, Jay?
First of all, let me give Joya her credit because them abs was abbing, baby. I was like, 6, 4, 5, 10 packs was showing. I was like, go girl, okay. I'm not mad. You bringing back memories. But I once had them, y'all. I once had them. I was 6-pack shorty around here.
Not the memories.
Nah, but yeah, she was definitely, I was like, that side eye she gave when she was like, I'm not gonna put too many heads out up. I was like, oh girl, don't cut her right now. Yeah, we on camera and the body can't be pulled out right now. Like, don't do it. But yeah, it was a bit, I don't know how I would totally react because Sharice was like, I'm gonna say these people's name wrong because I don't have it. Selena. She's beautiful. Okay, so I probably would have raised the eye too a little bit, like, and then it looked like it would be around his type too. So because they almost look alike a little bit, they favor. So I was just like, yeah, if you bring somebody that look like me, and I know it's kind of like my man's thing, I might
Pressure.
be like, you feel me, Tay? I'll be like,
pressure. Like, do I play it cool or do I give a little? Let me strut around the room real quick.
Yeah, I'll be checking myself real quick a couple of times. Like, play it cool, be cool, don't say nothing crazy.
Yeah,
Joe was fine.
I think I would try to really play it as cool as possible, though. Really try to play it as cool as possible. But I'll be eating up on the inside. Like, what time y'all getting home? Say what?
Not you saying what time you get home. Soon as I get home. I said, okay, baby. Okay. Sorry. No, go for it. Tay, go for it. You good?
Oh no, I was. Anyway. Yeah. Somebody like that come in the house. I'm definitely going to put on a little. I'm just going to do a little bit extra. It's going to be really hard for my inner woman to be like, chill. I'm gonna be like, hold on now, because you too pressure. But then you can't let them see you sweat at the same time. So you never want to do that. You gotta play it cool. Like, am I right with the dark arts? That's how I do? You gotta play it cool. Can't let them see you sweat.
You gotta can't let them see you sweat, no? You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't let them see you sweat.
That's how she's supposed to operate. Don't even act like what she had on? Okay, yeah, I didn't even notice. Yeah, something like that.
That's it. It's like, I didn't even know it's there. You know what? If you really dark artist, you put it on him down before he goes on a date. So he's out, so that he's mellow chill after that. Because ain't no spice coming from that after that. You know what I mean? I'm not even spicy after that no more. All that energy, that testosterone gone, finished, mooshed. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? So if you put it on him before he went on that date, the date ain't gonna go that well, because the energy that I would have had, it's gonna be a little bit, down. What are you saying, Jay?
I don't know if production make them dress a certain way before they come, but we probably both be looking up and they're good. I'd be like, hey sis, I like your dress. She'd be like, I like yours too. I'd be like, oh girl. We might be on a date together, sweetie, because like we can leave him. Because I ain't be damned, I'm gonna let you see me sweat. They're like, for real, like she might come into the house. I might be at all kind of little like just a reminder.
Right. So you ready to hit this club, sis? Okay, let's bounce.
I ain't about to be sitting around here while he gone.
Listen. you gotta do it. So just let them know. Listen, as they said, train him. Just so before he goes, and then go. But like Jay also said as well, you can put on a dress. You know what I mean? Something that's fire. Something that that he likes. You know what I'm saying? You're like, where you going? Oh, nowhere. Just wants to put on a dress. And it just lets them know that
you should be in your best when a date coming to pick up your man anyway. Like, I'm not in pajamas. I'm in Sunday's best, honey. Like, no, I'm not doing that. That's crazy.
See, that's some dark arts right there. You don't even realize that's some dark arts. You're beginning to get into the dark arts habit. You see?
Okay. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Listen.
You're starting that slope, slippery.
I've been taking
Careful,
notes.
You're gonna slide. You're gonna slide into this dark arts. You find yourself doing things you don't even know you're doing it. Yes, Jay.
Listen, Tay, you better tell him I gotta soothe myself while you go. So I gotta feel at my best. You gotta feel at my best. And my best is this little skimpy outfit that you like so much. Oh, I gotta just
see where I get it from. I watch too much of Jay, man. I'm telling you, that's where I get it
you
from.
You follow Jay, you're gonna be in trouble. That's for sure.
Listen, you follow
and Jay,
me,
we trust.
A relationship
Jay,
that you didn't ask for with a couple of stalkers. Don't follow me too tight.
Get yourself hurt.
I teach you how to get stalkers.
That dark game, boy. Trusting the wrong crowd. You chose the wrong crowd. Okay. So they went on a date, and the date seemed to be going, quite successful. There wasn't necessarily any flirting or anything like that. It was more just, I guess, it seemed like healthy conversation. Just really trying to get to know each other, and what your thoughts were. So there's a little clip of their conversation.
Wow. So I don't know. So how old are you?
I just turned 30 this year. What about you?
I'm 40.
Okay.
When's your birthday?
June 12th.
A Gemini.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm real big on horoscopes and stuff.
For real?
But I like the chakras and the metaphysical.
Look, I'm not into any of these horoscope stuff, but let me just say this now. Cancer and Gemini is going to end in war. He needs to leave that alone. Let that go. Okay? Just saying. Yeah, let that go. Let that go all the way. Yeah.
Sounds like you know from experience.
No, I don't actually, too fair, but
Now, I always feel like a sign that's too close to your sign is probably not the right one for you to be with. Sometimes I just feel like that's just me. I'm not into him that tough. Seaway need to be here to tell us for sure. But
rising moon and stuff.
Yeah, I generally say a sign that's too close to yours is probably not the one for you. Friends, yes. Dating, I don't know.
Let it go. Let it go. Get me. I hear that still.
So
Yes, cancers are too sensitive.
I was going to say they're getting at you in the chat.
They said cancer too sensitive. It said Gems in the building. Someone's Gemini's in the building. I leave Gemini's alone. Tay, talk to me. You know, they went on a date and it seemed to be, you know, pretty cool. They seem to be chatting and getting along and it seemed to be a nice vibe. How did you see their date?
It went great. They matched him perfectly with somebody that would be pressure for his relationship. If he said no to another date with her, I would think it was cap, because it's no way he don't say no. I mean, he doesn't say yes to another date with her. They just fit too well. She's on the younger side, so all this time he trying to take, she kind of got a little bit to give. Yeah, that's why I see that. Now them Geminis. Yeah, I don't know y'all that well. I ain't trying to get cut up, but Gemini's is something else. But yeah, I think they fit perfectly. I seen the date going really well. This was one of the best first dates that I've seen on the show this season thus far. That was a great date.
Yeah. It was a good date without having it to be flirty or anything. Just literally was just good conversation.
Yeah.
And Jenny trying to get to know each other as well. So I'm definitely with you on that. Yes, Jay, you want to add something?
No, I agree with Tay. Yeah. Good date.
Someone said the relationship was a threat to the date was a threat to the relationship. Was the date that good? Yeah. I mean, it was good. I mean, I don't know about that, but
no, it was that
then again,
good.
I guess
it was that good. I mean, you could see it. I mean, everything watching it, you could just felt the chemistry. He was really impressed and really turned on by the conversation and everything. His face was lighting up. Forget what she could just be acting, you know, women, we can be nice or whatever. But I felt like she was giving enough to where he was like, yeah, I'm feeling her and she feeling me.
That's a fair point. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because the conversation was good. And I think maybe that's why there's a threat to relationship, because I guess in some part, you know, they generally were trying to get to know each other without it, let's again, saying any madness. And I think what sold him, and it would have sold me if someone could speak my native language of in Ghanaian Tree, is that she spoke Spanish. Now she was trying and she was learning as well. And that sold him. That one sent him to the hills. Because it's like, I don't think he saw that she could speak Spanish. I didn't see that she was going to speak Spanish. And then suddenly to be able to just come out and speak a little bit of Spanish, even if it's not the most complete Spanish, to even the fact that you're trying and you're learning and you're growing, that just sent him over the edge. Like, bro, this is potential right here. Plus she's 30, so there's not going to be a rush to now get married and get into kids situation. This could be the one, right? And she bad. She real bad. Like she bad. Like she bad.
She wasn't pulling no punches. He caught them all too. It was yeah.
That's that. So you know, I can understand that. Watch a little bit more of a clip of their little.
Habla conmigo.
Yeah, I speak mejor muy poquito, pero es no viví en España.
Sí.
It's not perfecto.
Sí.
Now, what I need Put a Ring to do is, just in case they're incanting any type of spells on the screen, is to tell us a little subtitles, because by all I know, she could have been summoning some spirits and I'm watching the show. But I mean, I love the fact she tried to speak in Spanish, and you know, he was also then speaking Spanish back to her as well. It's just a nice area. It's just a nice, you know, it's just nice to see that, you know what I mean? So I definitely understand what you're saying. It is something that could definitely be making you think. He gonna go back and be thinking, especially the fact that they weren't necessarily flirting. He definitely gonna be going back home thinking, Selena, that girl, dangerous, you know. So I definitely can see there could be a problem there as well. Any last thoughts on their particular situation? I think that was pretty much the gist of their dates, to be honest. Yeah, that was the gist of their dates. I don't think there was anything more that they said. Yeah. Anything else? No. Should we shift it? Fantastic. All right, cool. We'll move on to the last one for the last few minutes. We're going to talk about another couple. We're going to talk, obviously, about Dunbar and Chance. I'm going to say this, it's really weird, but I really like Dunbar and Chance. I don't know, this episode, I really, really did like them. Like, I'm not sure why they're on the show, but listen, I really like them on the show because they are communicative. They actually do talk, and I love the fact that Dunbar wants to do whatever he can to make sure that he gonna end up marrying Chance. That brother said, listen, I'm here for a mission. So none of you chicks out here gonna be driving me to get me to come out of my mission. I'm on a mission and I'm sticking to the mission. And I love that part. What I would say is that the end part with him and the doctor, and maybe ladies will feel differently, and we'll discuss it as well. Was I didn't get what the doctor and Chance were saying. I thought he said what his issue was. So I don't know, maybe I misheard it, or whether I wasn't really paying, maybe I wasn't really deep in what he was saying. But when she asked him about the submission, and he said an example was, well, look, every time you make a decision, you go to your father as the kind of final call. That's the part I'm talking about, right? So I was like, I thought that was pretty clear what he was saying. In a sense, what he's really saying is, I feel like I'm not considered to be a trustworthy source of confirmation for you. So I'm feeling a little bit left. That's what he really should be saying. I feel left out. I feel like I'm not valued. I feel like I'm as a man, I'm in competition with your father in some sense, right? And so I thought that was a clear-cut message. And maybe it's less about submission and more about how you actually view the father or whatever. But it just felt like, yo, doctor, why did you start jumping on him saying that's not? And then when they asked him to give examples, he was like, well, when you read your book or when you did this or when you did that, he said you asked your dad. And then she was like, what's the factual evidence? I was like, what more did you want him to describe? Did you want him to tell you the actual situation of the whole entire thing? Or like, how did you want him to explain it so that it actually fitted the particular narrative? Like, that's what I was trying to figure out, but I don't know. We'll discuss that in a second or two. Let's get first and foremost what your thoughts were on her date, and then we'll talk about that particular instance as well. Because she went on a nice little on his date, sorry, he went on a nice little date. Go for it, Jay. You want to? Oh, did you want to say something, Jay?
I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me? Because I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, we can hear you, Jay.
Okay, let me try something. I'll be right back. Hold on.
No worries, baby. No worries. You're good. Go for it, Jay.
Oh no, so I was just going to say that he felt really comfortable on the date. That was somebody that was speaking his language, and I thought the date went pretty well. Like that's something that he'd been looking for in his current relationship, as far as somebody saying that they would be submissive, somebody to kind of make it easier for him to play the man role that he's used to or he's comfortable in. And she was speaking that language to him. He understood the task, and I think they did a nice job pairing them two. I don't know if he would say yes to another date. I'm not sure, but as far as how the date went, I think both of them was very comfortable, and it looked good to me. It looked pretty authentic, and it looked like it gave him something to think about, because then at that session when they meet with the doctor, he's ready to kind of communicate what's going on with him. And like you were saying earlier, to me, he was spot on. I was definitely confused as to why they weren't understanding him. It seemed like he was answering the questions pretty clear cut to me. So I don't know what more did they want him to say, what they were looking for, but I think he was expressing his feelings quite good to me. Like, I understood exactly what he was saying. He was saying that he don't know where he plays in a part where, because he wants a woman rather to be submissive to him. He wants to play the lead, and he doesn't know, or he's not comfortable where he fits in that situation with her. He said, I'm not sure how to love an independent woman, strong woman, and I need help in those areas. Example, when she's going to her father, and every man wants their woman to see them as the head and them as the leaders when you go to with any type of issues or problem. And then together, if we can't figure it out, we go to outside counsel. But I don't know. I was confused to why the doctor and his the girlfriend couldn't see what he was trying to communicate. And I thought the date went really, really good.
Yeah, the date was really cool. Actually, I'll play a little clip and we can get into it as well.
Humble. She was wholesome. She knew what she wanted. And it's refreshing for me to know that she knew the importance of being submissive. I can say I love her soul and I love her spirit. That date was probably one of the most refreshing and exciting date I've ever.
So clearly, you know, he enjoyed the date. He thought the date was really good. Crystal came in. I didn't think it was going to be his type, but he likes a woman that's covered up and everything like that as well. And I was like, okay, great. I mean, she was amazing, stunning as well. And what I loved is, obviously I'm a Christian myself, so the great conversation about Christianity and their ministries, and you know, them being both, you know, preachers and ministers, you know, of the word of God. And so I was like, I loved it. I love the fact he could have that conversation with her. And I was asking myself the question, do you have that conversation with Chance? Because if you're saying to me that your faith is very important, how the heck can you coexist with Chance if she's not on the same wavelength? And so far, we haven't really heard any conversations about the faith aspect from both of them. But you've mentioned that you've had one date, and this is a major thing in there. Do you know what I mean? So I'm wondering how you're going to fit Chance in long term with a faith that seems to be very serious for you. You know, so I mean, this can be interesting to see. You know, to in terms of a long term relationship, whether this can coexist. But she may be somebody who's also of the faith, and we haven't heard much of her speak about it. But yeah, on her date we didn't mention it, but in this one he was so passionate about mentioning it, and she too. They spoke about it a couple of times. I heard Jesus' name more times than this, and I've heard in the pulpit for some churches. So, blood, I'm telling you, they will mention Jesus up in there. Okay, they say you're gonna get a sprinkle of Jesus. Okay, all right. Go for it, Jay.
Well, he did pray on the date where he prayed that his hands would bless the young man's behind or something like that. So he
prayed those behinds away.
So he's mentioned it, but yeah, I don't know. He definitely lit up at the conversation he was having with his date about it, for sure.
Okay. Tannis has given us a little background. She says, obviously, even Dunbar complimenting his date is really how he feels, but he wants Chance to be the way that she isn't. Backstory: Chance has a background in faith-based speaking. Okay, all right, cool. That's fair. Okay, so all right. And let me correct myself. I said that he's a minister. Sorry, he said he had a ministry. I don't know what the ministry was, but he said he had a ministry. So I don't know if he actually said what the ministry was. So I don't know. Jay, you there? You want to contribute? She may not be able to hear me. No worries. Okay, cool. Let's get to the kind of last part conversation where he talks to the doc, where they had their conversation. We can have a little conversational point as well. Let's see their conversation. I want right here
that I sat down with, and I have to say that with you all, I'm confused.
Yeah.
You initially said you wanted someone submissive, right?
Yes.
Oh.
And then as I play things back,
the first thing obviously Doctor picks up on is what we all picked up on, which is, why the heck have we got this relationship on the show? Because it doesn't look like you guys have problems. And that's the first thing I was saying in my first review of the show. I said, they don't look like they got problems. So what's the problem here? Like, you know, like why we here if the problems that you have ain't really problems? You know what I'm saying? So Jay, go for it. I don't know if you can hear. Just want to test your mic. Go for it, Jay, quickly.
I can hear you guys. I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay, so let me circle back because I can hear you guys.
Right.
So last week we had a little issue, and this is why I was saying that there's a cycle. We had him doing the most, and then this week we got Chance doing the most. And sometimes when we have men that are strong leaders but don't have proper leadership, so to speak, we start behaving like them. Chance is actually submissive because she's mimicking things that he does as is. I think there's a lot of love in this relationship, but I also believe that Dunbar, as much as he likes Chance, he doesn't love her for her fully. He wants to change her a bit along the lines of what he feels would be right in his life instead of putting her in his life and letting life take its course and they being right for each other. Because she seems to accept him as he is. However, he seemed to be having trouble accepting her fully for how she is. And I think that's what the doctor was probably picking up last week on, a little bit of him controlling, which is more so of him trying to change her in a way to be what he wants. This date with the young lady that he had this week, she aligned spiritually with them, but that edge that he likes out of Chance, I think is going to be missing. That part of Chance that allows him to be him the way he is would not be the same with that young lady if he was to go with that young lady. And he wouldn't like that either, because she's definitely not going to have him playing in the God's face like that, trying to say these type of prayers. She definitely not going to have him talking to her any kind of way and all this. She already said that she don't really cook the same, so you still getting the same thing what you're getting with Chance. Although we've seen Chances in the kitchen, you know. So as much as I do see him loving Chance, I think what he needs to start all over and just start loving Chance for herself, and he will find out that they actually don't really have problems in this relationship too much. You know, how he talks may be a problem for some people, but Chance likes it. And I don't think he talks too bad. I think he just jokes a lot. And sometimes when we have a relationship, other people don't get the jokes that we have within our relationship, you know, but it's us. So it was one more thing I'll get back to because I kind of lost that thought. But yeah, I just want him to just actually take a look at the lady that he has and just say, you know what, let me figure out how to love all of you in this moment right now. And one day you may become the woman that I desire overall, but you need to do that at your own speed, your own pace, because she wants to. So.
Appreciate Jay. Go for it, Tay. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, I agree exactly with what Jay is saying. And just to add to that, I just feel like he may be operating out of fear, because why else would you try to change a person? I mean, he's not comfortable. He feels like if he don't really exactly know what his role is, that she may leave, or she doesn't feel that he's worth being in her life for some reason. So he may be operating out of fear, as far as that's why he's want to control the situation, or just kind of not knowing his place in her life. And really she just loves him for, you know, what he is, and he can't see that, because men typically they're used to or accustomed to a certain role. And when that's, you know, when he's not displaying that, when he's got this strong independent woman, though he may love her, now he's fearful that he doesn't quite know what his role is. And if she may get tired of him, or may leave if, you know, he doesn't feel like he's enough, or she may feel like he isn't enough. But like Jay was saying, I don't think they have any serious issues once they can kind of communicate into where she can explain to him that, because what we're saying, she accepts him for everything that he already is. I mean, we don't really know the depth of what's going on in the relationship right now, but the controlling behavior that he's displaying is not a problem for her. I mean, it's a problem for people watching, but in the doctor, but for her, it's not a problem. So if he can kind of see that whatever he's doing right now in her life is enough, then he can kind of let off those controlling aspects about him and just kind of let the relationship flow and be happy in that, because she seems to be happy with him.
Fair points. I like it. Let's watch another clip just to. I want to just get it to.
Father, before she asked me, and I think that's where the.
That's not true.
That's not true.
No, that is not true. That's not true.
Okay. Well, I feel like it is. I feel like sometimes.
Well, it's either she's asking her father or she isn't. Which one? If she's saying it's not true,
give me an example.
I felt like this part was a double team. Like I felt old boy got double teamed in that moment. You know, she said either it is or it isn't, but I felt like it could be a bit of both, because when she said it's not true, his statement first of all was the problem, because his statement was she always goes to her father. So if she says no, it's not true, it doesn't mean what she's doing is not true. It means his statement originally, as always, is not true. So I wish that she would have just given a bit more. You know, you said that you feel this way. Okay, you gave us some facts. Okay, she asked that question, and then he started giving the things, but then saying that I don't know if that happened. I don't know. We can play a little bit more. We'll see what they're talking about. But I think I got a little bit confused by what they were saying, because then he said I felt like. So he's still trying to offer a soft part, which is no, it's not that. But I said no, I felt like that's what the issue is. So again, I was a bit confused by that as to what they were stopping. I'll play a bit more and we can discuss it.
Give me an example, because I don't think that's true.
Father.
Well, several situations that we've been in when we were moving, when she's investing, when she's launching a book, when she's doing things like that. I feel like she depends on her father's advice before she listens to me. You're kind of getting a second opinion before you.
Once again, I don't know if that was unclear, but I thought that was quite clear again in him saying again the situations, moving, the book tour, you know, you're consulting your father's opinion before mine, and he might feel something. And even if he's wrong, he's still stating something, so we can address at least maybe the points. You know, and so I don't know if that's me just kind of, yes, Jay, go for it.
Correct me if I'm getting it or whatnot, because what I'm hearing him say is on all of your major decisions, you go to your dad and then I'm the second. Or was he saying her dad is the second opinion? Like she still go to dad after she asked me. I got confused on that part.
I think it was she goes to her dad first, like you said, the first time. Jay. Yep.
Okay, that's something that she needs to work on, and I think that's probably why he's feeling like the submissiveness in the relationship is lacking. Because you know, of course he said he into the Bible and things, and we know how the Bible goes. When you become a union, you leave your family behind. Your wife now becomes your family, your husband now becomes your family. And so he wants her to consult with him first. That's what I got out of that, is that he's asking her to consult with him first and foremost, and let him be the support that she needs, instead of going to your dad. You know, I'm here now. And she's probably just not totally comfortable with it, because she's probably been doing it with her dad for such a long time that she feels it's okay to continue to do that. But when we do get in a relationship with a man who wants to lead us, we have to learn how to depend on his leadership and let him do what he wants to do as a man. You know, and that means sometimes not always going to your dad first, but talking to that man that's laying next to you every night. You can go to your dad next and get a backup opinion from another man. But if you fully trust this man to lead you, and that's probably what he's having that issue is she's basically telling him, you don't fully trust me. You don't trust my opinion. You don't trust my leadership. And so that's something that they both might have to work out, come to the deeper issue. And I don't know why the doctor didn't fully get at her with that too.
Good
I'll
point,
leave it
Jay.
there.
Jay. No worries, Jay. Go for it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he said it clearly for me. I don't know where was the confusion, and it was I kind of felt for him in that moment, Jay, because I'm like, dang, because when some women say I feel, like all ears got to be open, but he's literally saying I felt a certain type of way, and he wasn't being heard, and it was just like, dang, like I kind of felt for him because he was. I mean, it's hard for men to do that, and when he did it, I understood it. I don't know, maybe it was editing, I don't know, but it just seemed like they didn't hear, what was important to him or how he felt about the situation. And like you said, Jay, it's like, come to me first. Not even, I wouldn't even say for her to go to her father second, because then it's like, do you trust me if you got to check behind me? It's like, we go to dad together. How about that? How about we go to dad together if we feel like, because I need you to fully trust me in the man that you chose me to be. And it's okay that, she kind of got a let up of dad, and she obviously needs to work on that and communicate with him, and maybe, I don't know, something in the situation makes her feel insecure where she can't fully lean on him. We don't really know that yet, because as far as we see, things are kind of good from what she's seeing in the relationship, but I don't know. But yeah, I would say that he was definitely clear on what he was asking, and I wasn't quite sure what more they needed for him to say.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, Tay, on that. What I'm about to say is just to clarify what I said. As far as going to the second, it's not every time we have a big major change in the life, you ask me, then go to dad second. Sometimes some issues involve a second opinion. Even if
Oh
that
yeah, I
person is
agree.
agreeing with you, you know what I'm saying, you might still go to dad and be like, do you really think this is a good move? Because you still need that more extra reassurance. And that's what I mean. If she don't have that full reassurance that she needs from him in that time. But yes, most of the time she needs to be with her man and her man only, you know, because that's your future. Your future is now with him, if that's what you want. And that's the question. Does she really want that though?
Yeah, that's the question. I agree with you, Jay.
So I think I kind of have some I've seen something similar, right? So I feel like I've been in a lot of situations in a short span of lifetime, but and generally one of the girls that I dated, her mother had passed away a few years before, so she was with her dad considerable amount of time, but she was always close to her dad anyway. And I remember when we started dating and I remember the power of his particular opinion and voice. So because I was having disagreements with her about faith, right? So from a Christian perspective, within the Christendom, there's a lot of different opinions out there. I can tell you that now, and different theologies as well, right? And we were having a discussion about the theology around Christ. And I asked her opinion, and what I heard was not her opinion. It was her dad's opinion, because she couldn't articulate it from her own perspective as to what she thought. And the words she used were exactly the same words her father used. And I was like, wait, I need to hear your opinion. When people start saying, my pastor says or my dad says, you already know that opinion is not their own. It's someone else's. They haven't actually brought their own opinion to it. And I remember this happened several times for that relationship. And I said to myself, the dad's not overbearing. He's not a bad person, but she will always rely on his voice, because I shouldn't meet you. And that voice is still what impacts you the most. What I'm saying by that is we're grown. We're not 18 at this point. We're 25 plus. Everybody who has a mother or father will listen to their mother and father and get some advice, and then they'll take it, consider it, and move with it. Some people take it and they do exactly what was said, and it's prescribed. And then you're facing a battle, not of the person, but of the voice of the parent that influences that child. And so what happens is you actually end up marrying the person, but also marrying the parent too, because that parent has some level of power, not necessarily, and they might not necessarily be doing it on purpose. But again, because like this situation, the mother also passed, they cleave into the father. that voice can become so much more powerful because there has been a situation where the person's passed and there's a much more leaning on the individual person. But I saw it and I said, this is going to be a problem, because when I address issues, I'm not addressing you, I'm addressing whatever rhetoric you have and not necessarily thought about, but you've taken as your safety, which is the voice of your father. So in that instance, it can be very difficult for the other man, in this instance, what I'm saying as Dunbar, right? Let's say, for instance, let's say he doesn't know anything about investments. If he knows nothing about investments, about moving, about a book, then let's say fair play. Bro, your voice can't be the first we hear. If you don't know anything about those things, you just have to say, babe, listen, here's my opinion, but you know what? You know I don't know too much about it. Go and ask your dad. You know what I mean? That you can't be prideful about it if you don't know about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Then I would agree in that particular instance, then he would be wrong. Okay, all right. You know, so that in that instance. But then I would say if we were to say that that we can also say that the fact that she likes his domineering energy in some aspects, quote unquote, some aspects, tells me that the dad and him have similar traits. So him wanting some power is probably the same way the father also wants to keep control of his daughter by always giving advice in a particular way that puts him in a position of power in the relationship between him and his daughter. He is always going to have some influence, similar to how Dunbar, at this point in his traumatic way of thinking, wants over Chance. So these two are actually quite similar. They just operate in a very different, unique kind of way, I think, in this instance. And then also think as well that she may not trust his judgment and his decision making. And I'll tell you why. Because he may be a king, but he ain't the king of kings. Okay, now the king of kings I'm talking about here is her father, not necessarily Jesus. Okay, but Jesus is the king of kings. I'm giving as an illustration. Don't no one come for me and call me blasphemy. I'm just talking about the illustration. Her father is still the original king, right? That is a voice that she's depended upon. That is a voice that has kept her safe. That is a voice that even when her mum passed was the one that was covering her. It can be very difficult to leave that voice alone and go into a space by yourself, especially if you've been making decisions in conjunction with your father as the person who was your backup and you're trusting his voice, but haven't learned to trust your own. Because that's what we're really talking about. It's about if there's really a situation where she is always asking her father, the key thing is, does she trust her own voice? Because the asking of him isn't a problem if the person trusts their voice. I can ask my dad and say, hey, dad, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? And he may tell me it's X, Y, and Z to the square. And I'll say, okay, I hear you. I'm gonna take it into consideration, but I'm going to make my own decision. Right? It won't be his voice that controls my decision making. I'm taking it into consideration. And so it's slightly different. So the trusting of her voice may be also an issue for her as well. And that's what he may be seeing and maybe rubbing up against. And feeling, I think also part of it that he may be feeling down on himself. He may be feeling like that, he's not good enough. And this situation makes him even more insecure when she does go to her father, after or before, whichever way he looks at it. He may be feeling insecure about that moment. So I think, I think in a situation like this, I understand if it is one way. I'm not sure which way it goes because we don't know the full story. I'm gonna take one aspect and say if he is rubbing up against this situation because he feels like she goes to her father, I'm gonna be honest with you, it ain't gonna change until she decides she wants to change it. It won't change. So he will have to either make a decision. Either you want to stay or you're gonna go. Because that voice, you can't pull that out of the person. That person has to want to be free from that voice. And every time you keep saying leave the voice alone, they're gonna keep telling you what for. It's worked in the past. Why don't you change it now? And you're gonna look more and more controlling. So that's where the doctor has to highlight that voice and her source of trust in that instance as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, go for it, Jay. What's that?
You reminded me what I was going to say earlier when you were saying all this about the dad, and we got to remember how Dunbar was acting in the first episode, like a father figure. He's competing with him already. There's no other man that's to the situation and compete with Dunbar within her dad. He's competing with her already.
Jay, you're breaking up, baby.
Am I bad? Oh shoot. Sorry.
You're breaking up, baby. You're breaking up.
Freak. All right. Go ahead, Tay.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that with everything Kojo laid out, I was just going in my mind. I'm like, wow. So she's always had her dad, and remember, she's mentioned that she lost her mom, and this is why men and women in relationships, as far as having a child, how the mom and the dad are important, because she was raised by her dad, which was fine, but she didn't have that buffer as to how to navigate what dad is saying into her womanhood, to how to navigate the world or play your part in relationships. So, because usually dads, they're pretty much always right. They're pretty logical, and so it's good for her to lean on her dad, but she didn't have mom to kind of show her, okay, you can listen to dad, but as a woman, this is what it looks like. Okay, so you can, rely on that. And I think we're seeing how that plays out, because we usually don't see where the mom deficit plays out when it comes to relationships with people. And when your mom is missing, we always see it with the dad. But I think right here we see, I think that's why she doesn't have her own voice, like Kojo was saying, because she didn't have a woman to help her find that. And we need our moms. And I think her losing that, she's struggling with navigating it. It may not be even because we always you hear the term that we marry our fathers. So like Kojo was saying earlier, that she probably married her father. She probably married somebody. They're probably very, very, very similar, like mirror to each other. But because that's dad, he's always going to take precedence, because she doesn't know how to handle that situation as far as being a woman. I don't know if I'm making my statements or my thoughts clear when I'm saying that, but I think we're just seeing how she's affected by losing her mom.
Okay, hopefully you can hear me very well now, Tay. You're very clear on that point. And I'll add to it that on Dunbar's side, he's competing with her dad. This is what I was trying to say just now. He's competing with her dad. No other man on this show comes through is going to top dad, and he already knows that. So he's not worried about any other man coming through. The competition is already in-house. And that's probably why in episode 1, he was coming off more as a father figure, because she has an electric complex. She's in love with her dad, unfortunately. And so his competition is being her dad. Instead of being her man, he is now pretending to be a father figure to get her attention, in return to get his attention. Because a lot of that struggle that he was having with Doc and her was, I'm not getting the attention that I want, I desire, I crave in this relationship. And I have to do the extreme to get her attention sometimes. And sometimes who commands her attention is dad. So if I act like her dad, I get the attention. And I think that's what Dr. Stacy is going to have to eventually draw out from the both of them, especially on her end, is that how do we let daddy go? How do we let daddy stay in his part and play his part and not overshadow my man playing his role? So she's going to have to learn to put daddy in the back and start trusting Dunbar a bit more as her new lead, so to speak.
Absolutely great points there as well. Yeah. The time is running out, so I'm gonna just play a little last. Hope we can get a little bit more of the clip in it.
Give me your full trust.
Are you just trying to pull stuff out of a? I feel like sometimes he just tries to pull stuff out of a hat, and he's trying to find a reason where it gotta be. That's not been the issue.
So can you give us a factual example of her doing that? Because if that's a concern.
See, and so what happens, that's why I felt like, I don't want to go too long because our time is running against us, but you know, that's where I think, so they were going to talk, and then he said what he said, and then she's like, that's not been the problem. If you notice a word, and she said that's not been the problem, which means that is a problem. It's just not been the problem that's been causing the issue about submission, but that's been a problem. But that's why I said I thought her argument against his thing was more against his term that he said, "You always," and I think that's not, you know, when someone says always, I always say to you guys, if you say always or every or forever or, you know, any of these terms that mean that the person's consistently doing something, they're gonna feel some type of way. And so I felt like in that moment, that's what Chance was rubbing up against. Like, hey, no, it's not always. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the problem. So, you know, but I'll play a little bit more so we can just get that context. And
She has to know about it because that's a lot of my confusion. What is this couple's stuff?
I don't really have any factual things, to be honest with you. I don't know how to handle a strong, independent woman.
Oh, my clip, me, I always put the wrong part of the clip. So he says he doesn't have any more he doesn't have any factual stuff. I don't know what else he needs to put up as fact. How would he be able to present more fact? Do you want him to take photos and then present it and say, this is what happened? Do you want him to put up text and say, this is what happened? If that's what he felt happened, that's what he felt happened. And then what we talk about is, why do you feel that way? That's what should have been dived into. Why do you feel that way? And dive into that. You know, that particular instance, because it left it quite open there in that sense. You know, so I just wish that she dived into that so we can get a bit more to unearth. And then he went into a deeper aspect, because all of this is layers. It's not one answer, it's layers of answers that make up an answer. So the other aspect is, which is probably one of the bigger issue, is a part of the dad situation is also her level of independence from him, which he finds hard to do and hard to cope with, and that's also a major issue as well for him. You know, and that is a difficult aspect too to deal with a partner. So I think that also came into it. But again, the doctor kind of scooted past that part and then got him 1-to-1, and he said what he said. So it was disappointing, because it could have been a moment where she could have explored a bit more to understand where he's coming from. But I guess when he starts breaking down and crying, he might tell her something a bit more. But you know, I think it was you know, I think again, the difficulty here is that, you know, he may not be able to put his whole finger on the buzzer in terms of articulation of what the actual full issue is. And so maybe that's where he's also falling down on that narrative. So I don't know. Maybe he's not communicated very well in that instance. Any last thoughts on this particular scene? Yes, Jay.
Yeah, I think it's a layered thing. It's kind of like an Abra cake. Without the layers all together, you can't get the full flavor of what it is. But with all the layers together, you get what it is. As an independent woman, I'm not going to you for advice. Then I have a dad that is very strong influence in my life. So therefore I go to him when I actually need advice. That's a lot for a man that needs to feel wanted and needed in a relationship. And I think that's what he's struggling with, without trying to say, softening himself so much to say that I'm a man, I want to be loved, and this is how I want to be loved. You know, he has this exterior that's a little hard shell, a little tough about him. And so I think for him to try to explain, I need love in this manner, in this capacity, it gets a little difficult for him to do. And that's why he's struggling with the right words, just to say, hey, I need her to let go of her dad. So therefore she can probably give me a little bit more of the love that I desire, and in the manner that in which I desire it. And this is how I need it. I need her to need me a little bit more. Even if she don't need me, I just need her to show me she need me. So I know that I'm loved, I'm needed, I'm cared for. And it could be something that's just rooted into his childhood, why he's like this. But I think that's what the overall problem is he just doesn't have the right tools to just say, I need you to love me like this. Can you please love me like this? They'll be fine. I don't really know why they're on this show, but they'll be fine.
Tay, any last words in this section?
No. I think Jay summed it up pretty well. I wasn't sure what more he needed to say. Maybe, hopefully, down the line they can hear what he's saying, because he's seeming to be struggling, and it's not good when you're struggling and you're not being heard. So hopefully he gets his point across and his message gets delivered in a matter where they can work on this problems where he feel insecure in the relationship. So that's on that. But yeah, I don't see them having any relationship breaking issues. I think that the obstacles in their way they can definitely overcome and get to a place where they are seriously getting married, or the latter. So I'm rooting for this couple.
Yeah, and I think the final point is what Alexis F put a comment, which could be also true as well. I want to keep it open. Said he would have said when they moved, I said X ABC, but her dad said XYZ, and that's what she did. So maybe if he isn't telling all the way truth, maybe he would have explained a bit more. So I'll hold that aspect too, because we didn't get to hear an explanation, maybe a deeper one of saying, hey, when that book launch happened, when I said you should do XYZ, you didn't do that. I think, and I'll hold that side open as well. I think what happened, what I'm hearing is he had an issue with the fact that, let's say, for instance, she had a book launch, she didn't ask him, or she did ask him or whatever, and then she still went to her dad. And then rather than saying how he felt about it, he kept it internally. And so what he's describing is XYZ. He might not have never said anything in these instances, and it's the first time she's hearing about it. And I'll tell you why I think that, because just in that clip, the doctor says, well, she doesn't know, she can't do anything about it, which means I don't think he ever said to her that's how he felt about those situations. So it may have been that he has silent expectations and may have been quiet about what he actually said, and in his own head he's calculated it that way, which leaves the person in a position where what can they do about it, because they never knew. You know what I mean? They can't change it if they never knew. So it may be that he may need to look at it from a different perspective and actually learn how to communicate and say how he actually feels. So that's why I said that. And like I said, I've always said that Chance is the more powerful person in that relationship. He's clinging on to her, not the other way around. But I do like them together. I really do. I think if they can work on their traumas, I think they really could make something happen in this relationship. So I'm not against them being together and stuff, if they can work out those individual pieces. All right, guys, we have come to the end because I've got to get to Ready to Love live, and I'm late by like a good 30 minutes. You know me, I like to be late. But listen, shout out Tay. We want to see you here. Hopefully get to see you again next week as well for Put a Ring on It. Would love to have you back. Please come back. And I love the bottle as well. I'll have to bring out mine out the cupboard too. The Mineral Gang. Stay hydrated. Love that. In fact, send me a cash up. I'll send you a little something. We love the fact that you got the Minerals Gang top on and you got the bottle. Send me your cash up. I'll send you a little something. When people bless you, you have to bless them as well. Don't be.
No need. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of you and the panel and the chat. I already know some heavy hitters.
Yeah. Say, let him send us our sweater, because I'm still waiting on my black hoodie. Let him send us our sweater.
Yo, Jay, that sweater has been waiting in the dark. Jay, you have to keep reminding me, because I'll be dismissing this stuff. I owe Jay like 500
I'm gonna have to come
point.
I'm gonna have to come to the UK to just get my sweater by damn self. I see this now.
It's gonna take even longer because the sweater's not even here. The sweater's online. I need to send it to you.
I gotta go to the factory. Where the factory at?
Ohio. I don't know. I'm playing. But shout out Tay, shout out Jay. We'd love to have you back, Tay, as well. Jay, thank you for joining us, because this was great. And we're about to jump on to the other side and talk about Ready to Love. So if you guys are invested in Ready to Love, we want to see you guys on there as well. And hopefully we get to have a great conversation about Ready to Love, because this episode was crazy. But until then, guys, next week we'll be back here talking about Put a Ring on It. Also, I'll be live next week, Thursday, with Crystal. I believe it'll be at 3 p.m. EST. We'll be discussing Put a Ring on It as well for our little collaboration across the YouTube streets. And then Monday next week, I'm going to start doing every day the lives on Love is Blind, because y'all be asking me and saying, when we going to do it? So we'll dedicate an hour each day to do Love is Blind. At the end of the week, we should have it done. And that means the second aspects of videos will start as well. So yeah, we gonna get on it. Okay. All right. So listen, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and you click on the bell button for the notification of the uploads. We greatly appreciate you guys coming through. We had 300 of you guys coming to watch the show. Tay, thank you again once more. Jay, thank you again once more. Now y'all know I can't leave you without leaving you here with
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way.
Look, we're gonna do that again because it should be that low.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
StreamYard.
Anyway, I don't know what she don't want to play the clip on this loud, but we're gonna leave on y'all. Okay.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Can say this now, and Yala never misses a beat. Even the sound never goes down. Never has she failed us. Shout out to Yala. All right, people, cool. Someone people are asking about your podcast. Tay, you have a podcast. They want to know about your podcast. So it's your podcast in your name, isn't it? Right? The Nitty Gritty Podcast. Just give him a minute. Just tell them what your podcast's about.
No, I'm so nervous. I'm about to log out. You guys, you were amazing. I'm like nervous as hell. I appreciate you. You guys are amazing. This is like, I'm a fangirl. I'm a fan of Little Black Book. This is like everything to me. This is the world. Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Little Black Book. Thank you, Kojo. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, babe. All right, cool. Guys, we out here. Okay. We'll see you again very soon. Much love and appreciation, guys. Ta-da!